This is where we got up to. I just cleaned up some few aspects of my sketch. Obviously, I still haven't added the connection point, which I can. But I just wanted us to address this area. Then afterwards, we want to add some some color. All right. So obviously, there's a before and after. There's a lot of difference in terms of just touch up. But there's a quick hack. I know not everyone is that technical in terms of drawing abilities, so you might need a few tips and cheats here and there that will help you out a little bit. This arm it's warped really bad. It doesn't look like it fits. It looks like he's broken his arm. But we can fix that. All we just need to do is go on to the internet. Obviously, you'll search whatever posture, whatever arm, or whatever thing that you want to use, because basically we want to use a reference image so we can trace over it, so we can still keep our character as it is, but we want to apply more of a realistic approach or realistic dimensions to a certain extent. Right, so I found this posture, which is a slouching posture of a man. I just want to capture this arm. So of course you can save it onto your drive. Go back onto Photoshop, and you guys will import it the same way that you did of the previous images. It'll import it. What you can do is just cut that and paste it back onto this screen. Let me just rename this quickly. So I'll name that before, and I'll name this one after, just so I know what I'm looking at, after and before. Okay. Alright, so I just want to make sure that my reference images is behind my actual character, so I've just made sure that it's just underneath my after, so I can move that into where I want to be, somewhere similar. And before I even do anything, I'll just quickly outline the arm, cut that out so I'm not distracted by anything. So I'll go back in, zoom in, which is your square brackets. It's your plus button and your minus button to zoom in and out. So it's Control or Command plus to zoom in, Control or Command minus to zoom out. Then what you can do is just use either your lasso tool, just to have a quick outline. It doesn't need to be perfect at this stage. You just want to have a rough outline of the arm or the section, the area that you want to edit or you want to trace over. We'll click on Command or Control X to cut that out. We don't need any of that anymore. And Control or Command V to paste that in. So alright, so the arm is there. I want to manipulate this image a little bit, so I want to make it a bit longer, so I'll move my cursor onto one of these handles. I'll hold on shift, so all I'll be doing is moving it down. If I'm not holding on shift, it'll just expand the whole arm, but I want to keep it quite slim. So I'll expand that just by holding shift there. The arm is the character does have quite broad shoulders, so what I would do is right click when you want to move on to warp, and we just want to make that shoulder just pop out just a little bit. So I'll move that around like that. It doesn't have to be perfect at this stage, but it gives me a better understanding. Alright, so I'm going to continue manipulating this arm, so I'll move it to somewhere closer to my reference image, and I might just move it there for now. Maybe just rotate it just a bit. Alright, so that's a good starting point. I think I'm happy with how that is coming along. That's fine. And now I want to use, either I can use my brush, I'll just create a new layer, and I can use my brush to quickly outline your character according to the style that you want to use. So if I go down here, create a new layer, and I can hide my existing image, go change my opacity so it's a bit lighter on my reference, so it's not going to hide away the lines that I'll add onto it. Go back onto my layer that I'm editing, click on B, which is your brush tool, expand your brush, which is the open bracket or the close bracket, and we're still keeping it quite loose at this point because it's still just your sketch. So I'm just quickly sketching out just the arm shape for now. So it doesn't have to be too detailed like I mentioned before, because we're going to re-edit this in any case. I am still using a mouse, so of course there is challenges with using a mouse. You don't have as much control of your lines. But yeah, we'll just use that for now so we can have some kind of outline to begin with. Alright, so I'm just going to spend some time just getting some of these finger details down. Okay, so that's a decent starting point for now. And all I'll do is make my layer visible again. I don't need the reference image, but I was going to delete it, but I'll just hide it for now because I might need to go in just to make sure my fingers are the shape that I want. Make sure that the layer that you want to erase or modify is selected. So in my case it's the after image, which is this one, because I want to erase these lines. So click on E, which is your erase tool, and I don't need that anymore, so I'll get rid of that. Alright, so that's a quick hack just to solve some of your distortion problems. Now, so obviously if you want to make that line more neater, you can. Then once you've done that, all you need to do is merge the two layers together. Make sure you shift select them and merge them down. So now that is connected. So you still have your before image and your after image. So you can see the difference between the two. You might even want to edit the hair if you have a chance to. And yeah, so that's what we can do. So for now, I think I'm happy with just the progress. You guys can make that as neat and as more tailored to your style at this point. I'll show you how to add some color onto it. But my overall character, I'm probably going to get rid of this sketchy color. I mean this sketchy line, and I'll just have more neater lines, which is why I'm not too focused on the bumpiness of my original or my filled in sketch here, because I know I'll redo that on with more neater lines. I'll show you how to do that. But for now, we just want to see if we want to add some color. So since we're happy with this progress so far, we can get rid of your before image. You can either delete your images where they are, but all I want to do at this stage, I just want to make that bigger, just a little bit bigger, and maybe center it out. Okay, so that has been selected. We want to create another layer underneath your line layer, so we're going to change that after, so we can say this is after line layer LYR, and we can name the one layer that you've just created as your color LYR. So we'll name that your color layer. So all we need to do, actually we don't even need to create that layer, we'll delete that, we'll duplicate this layer, sending it down, so we'll duplicate it, and all we'll do is change that duplicated layer to color LYR. Alright, so now that's selected, we can kind of color pick. So whatever color that you want to adjust or modify. So the top, let's say I'll make that red. Make sure I've selected red. I can go to my paint bucket tool, which is down there, or the shortcut key, which is G, and all I can do is just fill out the colors that I want to fill out. So it's starting to look a little bit more interesting from here onwards. Alright, I'm probably going to change the colors that I do have here, but this just gives me a nice outline or basis of color to begin with. But that's how you would add color. But for me, I want to actually fix up my lines first before I carry on adding more color. But at least you guys know how to add more color. You can use your brush tool, which is B, make that big, and you can actually add in the colors in there. Alright, so I'll let you guys first fix up your image, use the shortcut hack of kind of tracing over your image and resketching it, and if you want you can add color. But what I would do from this point onwards would be adding on or creating a more neater line. So yeah, I'll let you guys get on with that, and we'll touch base again.